So you're feeling stuck and you want to unstick yourself. Easier said than done, I know. All of us could probably confess to feeling stuck in at least one or two areas of our lives, but sometimes we feel stuck overall in our lives, like generally stuck. And even though we can maybe locate a particular area of life, like say a job, we may feel stuck in our job, or we may feel stuck in an unfulfilling relationship. It oftentimes it feels like it's affecting us overall in life. Like maybe we're stuck in that one area, but we tend to sort of spread that to every area of our life. There's actually a very good reason why you might be feeling stuck overall in your life, even though it might be particular to a job or say a relationship, or you can narrow it down to some area of your life where you really feel stuck. But there's a very good reason why it seems to generalize and spread to your life as a whole. But before I get into that, if you find yourself liking this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button and the bell so you'll be notified when I put new videos out. And also, I'll talk more about this at the end of the video, but if you check the description right here down below, you will see that there is a link there. You click that link, you can reserve your spot for a free live training that we'll be doing really, really soon. And like I said, it will be live. Again, I'll talk more about it at the end of the video about what we'll be doing exactly. When we feel stuck in life in general, or in a particular area of our life, we tend to focus on the external, like what is seeming to be holding us back. So like I said, it could be a job, it could be an unfulfilling relationship. Some area of your life feels like you are stuck. And we put that attention primarily on the outside. Like, what are the outside circumstances that seem to be limiting us? What are the outside circumstances that are making me feel stuck? Now, putting your attention there on the external is part of the reason why you're stuck. It's part of the reason why you feel like you can't move things or change things. Because if that's how things are, if that's how circumstances are, and those circumstances seem to be outside of your control, well, of course you're going to feel stuck. If you can't do anything about it, that's what feeling stuck is all about. But it's that focus too much on the things that you can't control, the outside circumstances, the things that people are doing, or the situations that you're in that are, we don't control people, we don't control what happens. So if you're putting your attention there, that's a big part of what is causing the stuck feeling. Whatever circumstances you're in, that's absolutely real, that's true. I mean, you can see it, you can touch it, you can hear it. So that you don't have control over, or certain aspects of that you don't have control over. So what do you have control over? Well, you have control over you. And I'm probably not the first person you've heard this from, but it is absolutely true, but it's also the most difficult part to own. It's the most difficult part to say, okay, yeah, I have control over me. I don't have control over some of those things. So what am I doing, or what am I not doing that is creating this sense that I'm not in control and that I feel very stuck and I can't move forward in my life? More specifically, what is creating your sense of being stuck? What is also making you feel like it is absolutely true that you're stuck, and as if the external circumstances or verifiable evidence that you're stuck has to do with the beliefs you have about yourself. So let's say you're in that job that you don't really like. It pays only enough to pay the bills, or maybe you're in that relationship that's very unfulfilling, but maybe you have kids or with this person, or maybe you don't feel like you can make it financially without this person, or maybe you feel like you don't there's nobody else around. Well, that often, if you take your attention off the external and you put it onto to you and what's going on with you, and you ask yourself, okay, what would I have to believe about myself for those external things to be true? Well, if you're stuck in a job you don't enjoy, if you're stuck in a relationship that's unfulfilling, maybe the belief about yourself is that you don't deserve better, or that you're not good enough to get a better partner. You're not good enough to get a better job. You don't have the skills or the abilities or the intelligence to earn more money. In some way, you may believe that you don't deserve this. Now, other things can happen where you think that the world is a hostile world, that there are so many chaotic things going on in the world, and so many dangers and so many things bad that can happen to you, and that's what's making you feel stuck. You're stuck in the fear of, like, well, if I do this, then this can happen. If I go do this other thing, then that can happen, so there's all these sort of fears around you that are holding you back, and you're putting that focus of attention on the outside world. But if you look back at what you believe about yourself, if you believe you live in a hostile world, maybe it's because you believe that you're a victim and that bad things happen to you and that you can't control that. So what happens is your beliefs about yourself, you project them onto the world around you. And so if you have limiting beliefs about yourself, you're going to project those limitations around you, and you're going to experience those limitations as if they're verifiable facts, as if they're absolutely real. So anytime you feel like you're stuck and you notice your attention is on those external things and you feel like, well, that's just how it is. Like, I can't change those things. That's just it. I hear people say that all the time. They say, this is their situation and it's terrible and it's miserable. And I say, well, why don't you do something different? They say, I can't do anything different. That's just how it is. Well, that's time to recognize that you're putting that attention on those external circumstances, which is making you feel even more stuck. But if you stop and you think, okay, wait a minute, I'm going to put that attention back on myself. What would I have to believe about me that for those external things to be true? If I'm in an unfulfilling relationship and I feel like I can't do better than the person I'm with, well, what do I have to believe about me that would make that true? The same thing with the job, the same thing with living in a hostile world where all these things could go wrong and all these things that you fear happening could happen, and maybe some of them have happened to you. So you fear taking those chances again. If you failed in a business and the business went under, you had to give it up, you have to quit it, and you really do have a passion for business, or you have a passion for something else, you'd like to start that business, but then you have that fear and you say, well, those businesses fail, or those things don't work, or that type of business doesn't really work. What would you have to believe about yourself for that to be true? Maybe it's that you can't make it work. So we need to locate, well, what is the belief that you have about yourself that you're projecting onto the world around you that is making you feel stuck? Now you're probably wondering, well, okay, what next? What if I do that? I look at my life and I say, okay, well, where am I stuck? Or how am I stuck? Or what's happening? I feel like I can't change it. And I turn the attention to myself and I say, okay, what do I have to believe about myself that would make that all true? And then I locate that limiting belief about myself. How do I change it? Well, the beginning is to do that. The process or the solution to this is unfortunately not a simple one, but you can make a lot of ground just by recognizing that first part, that it's the belief you have about yourself that's really holding you back. Then now you have some breathing room. Now you have some space, and you can ask yourself, well, what if you believe something different? Or if things were different and things were good and the things were the way that you wanted them to be, what would you then have to believe about yourself? So now at least you have a sort of like a target belief to hold, to use, to aspire to. Well, what if I believe that I am an intelligent person who can succeed, or I'm a person who can get a better partner, a partner who's suited to the who I am and who I like, and treats me how I want to be. Okay, so what do I have to believe about myself to go and find that partner? And this is a huge step in the right direction. Now, there are more NLP things that we can do to map across the structure of beliefs into less limiting beliefs or more empowering beliefs, and that's beyond the scope of this video, which is why we're doing that live training that I mentioned earlier. In the description right here down below, there is a link. You click that link and enroll in the training. It's coming up next week, and we'll take a deep dive into this, how to locate these limiting beliefs you have about yourself and then transforming them into empowering beliefs about yourself so that you can have the life that you want. And we're going to do this over a 3-day period. It's going to be a live training, which means it's going to be interactive. I will be answering questions. So you will have, by the end of this training, you will feel differently about yourself, and you will have a map, a written out map, because we'll give you worksheets and everything to write all this stuff out. Not only will you feel different and more empowered and like there's more possibility, and you will believe different things about your life than what you believed prior to, you will have that map, that written map of where to go next. So in addition to liking this video and subscribing to this channel, if you haven't already, make sure you sign up for that training. You will be very happy that you did, and it is free, so jump on that right now. We often do fill up, we often run out of spots, so make sure you reserve your spot and join us for those 3 days. Last but not least, if you can think of a friend or a family member who would benefit from watching this video, make sure you share it with them. Take care.